Good morning.
Hello. I think it's good morning now. I think it just started.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Good morning if I jumped the gun on that one. Just want to make sure anyone who's there can hear us. Jennifer, good morning to you. Are you guys able to hear us? I'm going to assume everyone can because it looks like my mic is working unless someone tells us they can't.
I don't see anyone.
Okay. Well,
No, I don't see anyone talking.
Yeah, there's people here. There we go. See? Aileen can hear us, Jeremy. There we go. There's a little bit of a delay in the chat, as many of you know who do chats. So thank you for, hi Jennifer, the wave.
Hello.
So we have a Q&A planned for today and just a general discussion and bring you guys up to speed. So as most of you on right now know, Ed's been recovering. We hit our 1,000 subscriber mark during all of that.
Oh yeah, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago. So we owe you guys a big thank you. There was a lot going on. So we'll kind of bring you up to speed. We haven't been super active on YouTube or Instagram lately because we've been coordinating a bunch of things.
Yeah.
So you want to give an update on basically since your post-op day?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. That was like
it was almost a month ago. Almost, not quite yet.
Yeah. Why don't you take that one because I don't know where you started.
Basically, so as some of you already know, Ed was going to be heading towards, Jennifer says you look great, by the way.
Thanks.
Don't you love the haircut and the scar?
The scar,
So the haircut has a reason too. Ed is following up with chemo and radiation.
Yeah.
We were taking little bits of a pause because we were waiting to see if he was going to be part of the clinical trial at the cancer center where he was going to, which we decided not to. So he is doing radiation close to home here, about 15 minutes away, so he can come home every day and be with the dogs in his own bed after radiation without an hour-and-a-half drive. That'll have chemo in conjunction with it, which is being managed by the doctor at radiation and his neuro-oncologist at the cancer center. So it's kind of like a joint team from Tampa to Orlando.
Yeah.
But we're just waiting now. You were going to start originally Friday. This past Friday, you were supposed to have your simulation. And Monday start actual radiation. It takes time, especially with the brain, to design the radiation program.
Yeah.
So from what we understand, they take the 3D map of your brain and all the other imaging to kind of see where the tumor was, what the surgery got, and design the machine that'll give you the radiation to move around you. So they're still designing that for Ed.
Yeah.
So this week you'll have your simulation and
hopefully.
Yeah, and get started. We have the boxes and boxes of chemo drugs. It's terrifying, but as I said to Ed, this is the shipment that will be gone when you're done. So you haven't even seen it yet. You haven't looked at it.
Well, just because it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of, I don't know.
It's a lot of like waiting, and it's stressful, but just in the way that we've been trying to spend time together. I mean, the mood in our house is pretty good, I would say, considering. The things that are really been getting us upset are realizing that we are fortunate in a lot of ways in Ed fighting this cancer and the resources that we have at our fingertips, and we have you guys. And we're always reminded there's people who don't. There's people who don't have a caregiver that could dispense meds like I could. We keep getting weird answers from the insurance company versus the doctor versus billing departments. We're equipped to handle that. That used to be the world I was in before what I do now. I worked in doctors' offices doing billing pre-approvals, fighting for MRIs for patients.
Yeah.
So we're equipped. It gets us upset to know that we still have a hard time, and we're basically pros at it. There are people who are not.
We're not pros, but comparatively.
I mean, comparatively, I was. That was my job.
We're not doctors.
Doctors don't do it.
True.
So we're just kind of, we've been laying low a little bit, trying to enjoy ourselves, and Ed's still been recovering.
Oh, I'm recovering.
You want to share some info on that? The dog is knocking at the door, so I'm going to go let him out. You want to share info just about what you've been battling, being able to go to the parks and your day by day, the migraines, things like that?
Sure.
Yeah, and I'll be right back.
You think we would have done this before?
I did.
It's mostly been a lot of trial and error. We went, I think we have a couple videos up now from going to Magic Kingdom. We went there for Disability Access Pass. We went to, thank you, by the way, I see both. I'm getting better at the reading, so I'm trying to pay attention to that. Just that we are getting to be pros, and it's a trial and error again of being proficient at something you shouldn't have to be proficient in. But yeah, we went to a couple of trial and errors. We went to Magic Kingdom to learn the disability access, and then I had like a sugar crash because I'm still regulating things. I think that's a lot of medication stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we do? We went to
we did Disney Springs.
Yeah, we went to Disney Springs. We went to We went to Animal Kingdom Lodge, not the park.
Yes.
And we're doing little things, and we're realizing that I'm still fighting the energy deprivation thing. I'm tired. Part of that is because I'm not doing, and I wasn't doing as much as I would traditionally do anyway. But also, I think it's a lot of playing catch up with everything I had, and being cognizant of the fact that we are just about to face chemo radiation, which will then zap me anyway. So
what we're kind of expecting, aside from the typical side effects of medication, is your mental capabilities, if you will, are going to regress a little bit to kind of what they were post-op. Not that bad, but you're going to be more in a fog, a little bit confused, hunting for words again. So if you guys see that in videos, assuming Ed's comfortable making videos right at the beginning, don't be concerned. That's what we're expecting to see, and it's going to be a little bit of a regression before he gets better again.
Yeah.
But for some reason, all of the doctors seem to keep thinking, "Oh, you'll have no problem with it," which is reassuring, but also I don't know if it's overly optimistic.
I think it's hard for them to know that because they aren't going through it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I don't know that some of them ever have. So, also look at all the people: Jennifer, Michael. We're pros.
I mentioned out a couple.
Yeah, but no, you're getting yelled at that you're pros.
I read it.
Yeah, okay. I'm acknowledging that.
Yeah,
yeah.
All right. I was gonna say I finally got that. I can read it.
You still want to fight on?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, Jennifer, your body's going through so much between the surgery and the meds. She commends you for getting back to everyday activities. Did you talk about like migraine sensitivity?
I didn't get that far.
So okay. So yeah, one of the things that is difficult for me in planning for you too, even to do things, is all of a sudden we'll be even just sitting in the living room watching TV, and it'll say, "Whoa, I just got super light sensitive," or "I'm having like ripples in my vision." You had ocular migraines before.
Yes.
But now they're actually turning into full migraines.
Yes, they are.
So when I hear that, it's like, oh, change of plans. Whatever we're watching, got to close all the blinds around us, which is why it is a little bit dark in here. We have the blinds closed.
Well, that's more for light. You can't really see in the middle.
And also
of the day.
On the side of us, it bothers you when you sit with the light. So there's just a lot of that where our plans can change very quickly. We were at Epcot the other night when we did the food and wine video, and you were doing absolutely fine most of the night. We were able to avoid like the booths with smokers because smoke was bothering you. But the minute we started walking back,
smoker like pits, not,
like the barbecue smokers. Yeah. When we came walking back, we just did the front of World Showcase there, like right by the promenade from Future World. And as we started coming back, all of the lights that they have overhead that are the blue light, the red light, started to bother you. And the minute we got to the front plaza where the Viva Legacy monuments were, where they still have the vertical lights, you almost had to like wall walk along the construction wall to get yourself through it.
Well, I think that was 60% sensory, and the rest of it is probably people have been imbibing for many, many hours and many, many drinks throughout Epcot. They weren't
the most coordinated with the lights and
right. They were celebrating food and wine, and so they were all loud and in my way. And I think that my tolerance for that right now was having a hard time. So, we had the little extra things are a little bit more difficult, and part of that was just my vision was getting tired, and the sound was getting to be too much. But we got through it. So that was good. I do see a few people here. Jennifer, ocular migraines. Yep, that's what I was having. Lori, my son used to get ocular migraines. Yep, blood pressure medicine can help with that. And what's funny is I had ocular migraines for a few years, and again, they were typically just ocular migraines, so there weren't any headaches really, unless I really push it. Like if it was too intensive, I think just the disoriented sensation would give me a painful migraine, but otherwise I was fine. That has since changed its topography, and it is now more like a typical migraine, which they said can happen just with the crossing of the wires and the brain and everything. So
yeah, and also I see Jennifer was talking about, you know, the vision was the first problem. The interesting thing about your vision is your vision was affected by the surgery too. I don't know if you mentioned that yet.
Well, we were just talking about ocular
migraines.
Yeah.
But it's interesting now that a lot of the time you say it starts from, so Ed had, I think we mentioned in one of the videos too, a visual field loss on the lower right side of both eyes. And that's because they removed basically the pathway in your brain on the left side where that vision goes. So you've been complaining too that the ocular migraines kind of start there. So I wonder if all of that had something to do with it, or now that it's not there, you're getting the rest of the migraine. Who knows? It's all kind of a mystery, but it makes it really hard to manage and unpredictable at times.
Yeah, which was how ocular migraines are for everyone who has them or knows people who have them. It was. I remember being at work. Being at work the first time, and suddenly I could not see out of my eye. And this was a decade ago now, and just I could not see clearly. It was just blurry lines, and it was honestly more scary than the migraines I've had because I didn't know that was even a thing. No one told me what that was, and something I could not see. So that was very scary. But it's thankfully, knock on wood, I have not had any of the major. I've only had 2 of real migraines.
And both of them had to do with the end of the steroid taper, which after the first one they told us might happen. So Ed's been really good about trying not to use his Tylenol that much, except when he does need it. Like for pain, we're using Tylenol when he does get a headache. But one of the things is, when a migraine might come, but you've been waiting for actual pain to use the Tylenol because you can get rebound headaches from any medicine that treats those things. So.
Right. So if you want to go through real questions that people have, or
a lot of people chatting about blood pressure meds. I guess there's people on them that help ocular migraines.
Yep. That's what I used to use too when I had my ocular migraines. I had blood pressure issues too.
Yep. Thank you, Michael. Just going through. Oh, so Jennifer was saying, we said your first treatment was tomorrow. It is on hold right now. Tentatively. Not for any bad reason, but I mentioned earlier on, they have to design kind of the 3D mapping for the machine that's going to deliver the targeted radiation. So most of us are familiar with the CAT scan that kind of moves around us. This machine is going to be very targeted and move around Ed. So they take his original CT and MRIs that showed the tumor. They take the post-op MRIs that show kind of now the void where the tumor was, and they design the program of the machine that'll move around him. And there's a specialist that does that. They're still working on his program. So the radiation center is ready for you to start as soon as that program's ready. So he's got to wait for his simulation to go through that and then start treatment. It'll still probably be this week sometime. We're waiting for that call.
Ish.
But they said hopefully by the end of the week that'll be done. They're going to kind of lean on them because Ed's ready to get started.
Yeah, we just want to get it going. It's once we can get past this step, you then sort of have a little bit of a break until the next chemo treatment.
Yeah, so the chemo will be concurrent for the 6 weeks. So you'll take the pill every day, even on weekends.
Yep.
And then after your radiation's done, they typically do chemo for 5 days and then 28 days off, and then 5 days on, 28 days off for 6 to 12 months, just depending on how the MRIs look. Yeah. So you'll get back to relatively normal, and then you have a week of chemo and relatively. So we don't know what that's going to look like, but we're hoping it's manageable, which is all we can do at this point, is make it manageable.
I mean, I won't hide that I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to the side effects, but we sort of don't have an option, so we have to just tolerate it as best we can. Yeah, we figure out what we can and get through it and learn about the things that we can't. Yeah, I mean, just want to say hi to Rachel and Lori, who just joined us. They missed the beginning. Okay. Said. So. Hey. So yeah, it's stressful, but we're getting through it, and it's awesome that I can work remotely through all of this for my company, so I don't have to go into the office, and they're flexible with me. Lori asked, did the doctor say that this is to be expected? In terms of the migraines, I'm thinking, the ocular migraines and all that stuff. It seems as though they weren't shocked. What I did say was I had already had a history of some ocular migraines without the pain. And they weren't shocked that it could potentially be a new fact of life that I may just have some typical migraines now. But we don't know. Those could also, like you said, those could have been feeding some of the medication off my system. It could be the ocular migraines are coming back and we're just more intense. We don't know.
And also,
it's a mystery.
One of the hard things for me, like trying to get the answers, because Ed's clearly trying to recover. I try to get the answers for him. The surgery, so your treatment team is huge. It's got a surgeon, there's a PA on the surgeon's team, there's a neuro-oncologist, there's a radiation specialist, your ophthalmologist. Like, I could go on with all the people that are involved in this now. Yeah. But it's like the surgeon would say, oh no, these have nothing to do with the surgery. And the neuro-oncologist would say, well, yeah, they do. It has to do with the steroid taper. Of course you're getting headaches. We need to do a slower taper. And it's kind of like everyone has their area of specialty and they all overlap. So sometimes the answer is not the one you're looking for because you potentially asked the wrong person in the course of the treatment. So the migraine wasn't surgery related. It was medication taper related. That's after surgery.
Sure.
That goes to the oncologist. It's just weird. And it's hard to navigate at times, which is frustrating.
Well, I mean, I think, podiatrist sees back pain or sees the back pain from your feet, where the spine doctor may say that it's your feet are getting the pressure. So you don't know whose specialty is seeing it from a different lens. I think that's part of it too. But
the nice thing with the cancer center that we're working with, when we said it was kind of challenging to get answers, your neuro-oncologist said, I'm your regular doctor kind of for the long term right now. Put everything through me and my team will disperse it out if it needs to go to someone else. If we think it's surgical related, we'll put it out to them.
Sure.
So that was kind of cool. I get the sense that Sandy's a nurse. She said the nurses always seem to have the best info in her opinion. That is true. The challenge is sometimes that larger outfits like the cancer center we go to, they happen to do it very well, but they have a call system or a call center on property where you call in, you leave your message, they pass it off to the nurses. So it's easier to manage. They are very, very, very good about taking the messages. They know what information. I ramble for 5 minutes chatting with them. They get a concise message together, get it over to the nurse. And typically he calls me back within a couple of hours. So they've been good. So the nurses do have all the answers. I've spoken to him over and over again, and I haven't spoken to the doctor recently, which is fine.
Wait, and you wouldn't?
Yeah, the questions aren't for the doctor. They're kind of just, what's the standard? What do we do with this? So the nurses have been great.
Yeah.
So as we head into that next phase, videos might slow down a bit. We might do more of a little bit of this to update you guys. We'll try to keep the fun videos. Today, I have some friends coming into town and I'm going to go ride the Skyliner this afternoon. Okay. So there is a fun vlog coming out of that still. There's still little things we're trying to do in the mix here.
Sure.
And some of the questions that were coming up on Instagram, other than kind of like our backstory and what we do for a living outside of this, one of my favorite questions that came up was, when all of this is over, the next place we want to travel is blank. And I think you and I have been talking a lot about that.
Well, I mean, I'm always talking about travel, but I don't know if we have a response.
We have some things we've been talking about for sure.
I don't know which ones you're talking about. We talk about travel pretty much every day, so I don't know.
Yeah, but there's two things at the top of our list. Pumpkin pie spiced spam. I've seen this too. It just caught my eye on the thing there.
Okay, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No, but it just caught my eye.
Focus.
I'll go grab my drink.
Yeah.
But Paris and UK we were talking about.
Maybe. I know I've been through Paris. I spent some time there. Jason's never been to Paris. So that would be a good stop over there. I don't know. We would always, it's like anything when you go to anywhere in Europe, is you try to add a couple extra trips in, because once you're across the water, it's a lot easier to add a couple other things, and they're relatively can be done pretty cheap comparatively. So I don't know where we would go as a side trip there, but potentially we would stop at Paris. I don't know. That's what you just said and then left the room, so I don't know what you're talking about exactly.
Oh, we've been talking about potentially doing Paris because It's been one of the most significant places to you, and then tying in Disneyland Paris.
Maybe.
But also, we've been talking about doing a trip around the UK. So kind of visit your grandmother's roots and things like that.
My grandmother was from Wales. I've never been there. I've been to London, but only through like central London. I've never been through the rest of. I've never been to the rest of England or anywhere else in the UK, and you've never been to any of the UK at all.
Correct.
So
I haven't even had a flight stopover in the UK. Come to think of it, like
I did. My first flight technically was layover in Dublin. But I've never actually properly explored the UK. So
we might do that.
Look, greetings from Scotland. There you go.
Oh, there you go. So maybe we'll come visit Craig and Lorna.
Yeah,
there were some suggestions there. Lori was asking, are we going back to Japan? Lori, I can't tell you how many times, even before this, and still we talk about it, Ed would find flights and be like, so there's a flight deal right now for $500 to go to Tokyo and back. Should we take it? And both of us are like, yes. And then we back off because we're like, we've been there. Should we do something new?
So, yeah, it's one of those weird things where I love Paris a lot. And I love the time I spent in Paris. And I've been through other parts of France while I was doing a study abroad. And it's the same thing as Japan. Like, I want to go back. And I think to myself, but there's so much of the rest of the world I have not seen.
But I haven't seen Paris, and I'd love to see Paris.
Yeah, so I would do like a stay over. I'd probably spend a few days there.
Like, I could see us tying that into a UK trip. We'll have to look at itineraries because Ed and I we try to fit things in together. That's how our Japan trip is so great. Yeah. Oh, Rick, return to Arizona. We're cooler than you guys this week. That is certainly true. So the day Ed went for surgery, I think we mentioned in one of the live streams post-op, we had travel planned. I had the Saguaro Hotel in Old Town booked. We were going to be having dinner with my father. I was going to work out of our Phoenix office for a couple of days. The 20th, which was your surgery day, was the day we were supposed to fly out. That got canceled. So Phoenix, we were going to go for what the Phoenicians would consider a staycation because we'll go for the heat and we'll take the inexpensive rates.
Oh, I
don't care.
120 is nothing because it's not humid like here. Here where you're sweating, there you're not sweating. So
meanwhile, the dog's staring at me. He's like, "Yeah, where it doesn't rain when I want to go outside either."
I know. I miss the arid weather. We missed it.
We had Sandy, or who said it at the beginning? I think Sandy said Yellowstone. I have been to Yellowstone.
I've never been to Yellowstone.
It was fantastic. We actually have to do some U.S. travel together too because we've never done that. If you want to get to Portland and Seattle,
I've always wanted to do the Southwest. No,
Pacific Northwest.
Pacific
Northwest.
Pacific Northwest. That was a lot of words. I'd like to see Seattle a lot. I've always wanted to go there, and we booked a trip there once. Oh, and then we moved here.
So our Seattle trip turned into, we decided we were going to move here after my mother passed, and we changed the Seattle trip to coming here to go house shopping 18 months ago, however long ago it was. Yeah.
So I've always wanted to go up there. We just have, and we have a whole trip planned and ready, kind of you could plug in dates.
Which includes, for National Coffee Day, we should be going to the roastery. What is it? The Seattle
there's a
Starbucks Reserve, the special one.
Yeah.
No, like the one with the fun copper.
Why not? Well, I'd go to the one in some of the ones in Asia too, if we really,
We did. We went to the Starbucks in Shinjuku Crossing.
Yeah.
We have to do some U.S. stuff still. You have not been to any part of Florida other than, you didn't even really do Tampa for the short time we lived down there. We went to Clearwater once, but we need to get you to Miami. We need to get you to the Keys. They're a drive away.
Yeah, we have to do that.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling if Aileen or Jeremy are still on here, I want some Cuban food in Miami, please. So we'll have to go visit them and get some Cuban food.
Okay.
They also want to go to, she is still here. They want to go to Seattle, Chicago, Portland. I've been to Chicago. You haven't. Poland is supposed to be beautiful.
That'd be cool. And that we haven't been to any of that.
We haven't really done Eastern Europe.
We've never been to anywhere.
We did Ancestry DNA a while ago for Christmas one year or something. And my family, I know where a lot of them come from. The reason we spent a month in Germany at one point is I was studying my grandfather's hometown and historic buildings that were of the Jewish community that survived the war and how they restored them. So I did that for my historic preservation study for a month. So I've been to a lot of Germany, that Alsace, Southwest, Black Forest region. But the other half of my family other than my grandmother who grew up in Cuba. She was from Poland, and my other part of the family is from what we think was Belarus. So we should go do like Eastern Europe at some point.
We should, yeah, because we have not been anywhere in that region, so that'd be cool.
Lori's recommending an Alaskan cruise. We have
Cold.
No, in the summer.
Cold.
In the sun. We haven't done a cruise yet. We're not.
I personally have no interest in being on a cruise. I want to go out and go into small villages that are not near the ports and do little things that are doing all those little like, you know, I don't like the idea of I have a segmented amount of time to visit a port and then you got to get back on the boat. Even if it's overnight, you don't have enough time to really go explore the rest of the country.
But I think part of that is exploring the boat as a floating city too. But
yeah,
we live right here. Eventually we'll have to do like a 2-night something, because even Craig and Lorna are like the Disney cruise. And at some point maybe, but we have other things that come to the top of our list long before a cruise.
Oh, I understand that a lot of people like it. I don't. To me, that's not the way I want to go off. And
no, I like our little boutique hotels and mountainside villages in Europe where I'm convinced Pinocchio's going to come out of the dresser.
Which was totally not the right country at all.
No, it was 100% Colmar, France.
Yeah.
But Colmar, France looks like Fantasyland at Disney, and it's like reset. It's the real version of...
It is not the real world of that.
No, but it's like that is actually a functioning town.
Cute little quaint. Yeah,
it's actually a quaint town that looks
French/German, depending on different points in time, where it is threatened border.
Either which way, a Disney character was coming out of the dresser. I don't care.
Okay.
Krakow. Yeah.
Yep. Lithuania.
The world's largest Starbucks is opening in Chicago this November. Yes.
Okay.
Aileen says Cuban hamburgers. I'm
Okay.
down for that. I think I skipped. Oh yeah, we got a bunch here. Seattle would be amazing. Oh, seeing the orcas. Yep.
Yeah.
Washington State. Yep. I would like to do that. California up the coast. We could tie in Disneyland.
Yeah, because I've only been as far as San Francisco and then not any farther.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like that to be.
And I love driving, so that would be fun.
Yeah, and I drove all the way down. I did mine San Francisco down last time. So
yep. So you did what Pepper Tree is recommending. Highway 1 from San Francisco to LA. You did that.
I did that.
I've done parts of that drive, not all the way up to San Francisco.
Yeah, it's cool.
Didn't we also have a San Francisco trip booked and we canceled it?
I think so.
We move our trips around. See, this is why we can't do a cruise. World's largest Starbucks, Miami, Tennessee.
New York and Christmas. Have you ever done New York and Christmas?
Of course I've done New York.
About 1,000 times. We're from, New York and Connecticut. So...
I was a train ride away from the city.
Both of us were. So yeah, but I do say, if you like Christmas or anything, I mean, you're not, if you.
Oh no, New York City at Christmas time is crazy insane, but it is absolutely beautiful. Rockefeller Center, not just the tree, but like all the promenades going up with the angels lit up.
Sure.
And light. Like it is beautiful. And as much as I don't miss the snow,
and
the 3 feet of it, when there's a little bit of snow in those things, it's pretty. But also you can see that in movies, and you can
if I could go the rest of my life without ever seeing snow again, then I will have had a good life.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot stand snow or cold. I am cold here. I was cold in Phoenix. If it is below, what is it below?
Oh, I believe your temperature that I'm not allowed to invite you to go to the parks is if it falls below 65.
Yeah, too much, too cold. I hate it. And here was worse because here in Florida, because I hadn't lived with cold and damp, or what I would consider cold and damp, and it was just miserable. I hate the sensation of being cold. So yeah, that's the tough one.
Good suggestion here from Australia.
Oh, for my aunt?
Yeah.
Australia, I would love to do. In fact, Australia has always been at the top of my list.
We have a weird list where it's Australia and then like the crowded parts of like riding those commuter trains in India. Because we like to experience.
Well, yes, but to directly address Australia, that has always been at the top of my list. I have always wanted to travel through Australia, and I also want to see New Zealand too. So the problem is, it's just that you have to really wrap your minds around how long the flight is.
Which wouldn't be a problem.
No,
for us.
I'm as relaxed as you can be on a flight. It doesn't bother me that people are crazy. It doesn't bother me that it's cramped. I'm just like,
The cramp bothers me at times.
I just roll with it. But it is still about, how long is the flight?
I don't even remember. I want to say if you go out of like San Francisco, it's like 18 hours or more.
Yeah, so
it's a long, which I would not mind doing at all. But I believe you cross the date line with that. So if you have a week, you end up with like 4 days in your destination. So we have to find a good time to do that one.
So but that is at the top of my list. That is my, if I wanted to relegate it to a bucket list, that would be on my bucket list. Would be to do that region. It is a long trek, and it tends to be a very expensive.
That's always true too. Every time we look at flights, it's not like hundreds; it's in the thousands.
Right, and so you do really have to budget it out, where you could see several regions or several areas throughout Europe. You now have to take that same budget towards one trip there. Mm-hmm. But the flight doesn't bother me, and you're okay with it, so we should probably do it.
Jennifer, if they have spiders as big as cats, I'm out. Australia's not on my list.
There are some big spiders. Spiders don't bother me.
So I think it's...
Ish.
I think we should definitely share a little bit of the quick version of how we met, because I think that speaks a lot to our travel.
There?
No, but I'm realizing like...
Well, no, I want to talk more about like,
all right, you want travel?
Let's not talk about...
You met me because of travel. All right,
no.
We'll keep going. So... Troy's going to Chicago now because of the largest Starbucks.
Okay. Well,
You Travel Vlogs is going because Troy said it. Sorry.
Okay. That is still on the list.
Belgium. Belgium could be nice. It's easy to combine with Paris or London.
See, there's more for Scotland. That's
London and Paris at Christmas. Lori wants to do that. Could be good.
Cold.
Craig and Lorna are trying to get us to visit Scotland, so that I want to do the UK one.
That is that's a high list for me. Like I said, because Wales was important to my family, and just because neither of us ever been. I have a weird thing where I don't often want to go to places that either of us have been, because I wanted to experience it for the first time with you.
But you spent a month in Germany seeing Germany through my eyes too.
That you won a scholarship,
That's
so
true.
When it is essentially free, you will go and spend a month in Germany. But when we went to Japan, I made sure to pick okay, neither of us have been there. Let's go there. I don't want to always see a place just through you. So
I wish we were vlogging more during those days.
Well,
we just had the GoPro. Oh, here. See, your aunt has another good point about cruising, which is exactly to our sentiment. She agrees, staying in the place that you're visiting. So instead of getting off the boat and just visiting it, she felt that way about Bermuda. She loved the island and wanted to stay there versus just getting off of the boat. That's, I think, how we would feel too, is to be like, oh, we should go explore this now. And, oh, boat's ready to leave. And I'd rather fly to wherever we're going and stay for a while. And,
sure. And I think there's so many cool places to see that you don't always have time. Like, when we were in Barcelona,
we didn't have time.
We didn't have a ton of time, but because you had a friend out in Sitges, which was a train ride out of Barcelona to go visit her in like a cool little coastal town with tapas and all this different stuff. It was like, it felt like you were a little bit more local than, I have 3 hours to try to take in the biggest city in the world. Oh, we got to go. Yep. And it's like, oh, you don't have enough time for me.
I agree with that. Lots of New Yorkers on the line here today.
Are there?
Yeah.
Havana would be.
Oh, Karen, Havana. So we actually had a trip that it was the trip that I took to Germany that I won the scholarship for. My original scholarship application was going to be for Havana and Cuba, because they were just beginning at that point, 3-4 years ago, to lift the travel ban. I have family ties to Havana. My grandmother was born in Cuba, but when they tried to come join the family in the U.S., her father came first. He could only get as far as Cuba. The boat was diverted, but he sent for the family to come join him in Cuba, thinking it would be an easy step to the U.S. She grew up her entire life in Cuba, went to school in Cuba, speaking Spanish growing up, and came over here, I think, when she was 20. She was the first of that part of the family to come over. So I actually have ties and family back in Cuba. I couldn't get the scholarship application together because I couldn't obtain information because the travel ban lifting was too new. So we did my grandfather's hometown in Germany. That was husband and wife, Germany and Cuba. And we did that one, but we were getting ready to go to Havana again. There was the cruise out of Tampa. It's just still so
And now
iffy.
it's back to the opposite.
With all of the,
we can't get there, so
well, we still can because I have family ties.
you do, but yeah, it's still
with the iffiness of political stuff. I don't want to take that chance because things that I might want to do might go potentially against what the current travel bans are, and I don't want to be at risk of doing that. I don't know if they would or wouldn't, but I don't want to have to worry about
maybe
that.
in a few years again things will shift politically and we can go back in.
It jumped. Okay. New York City during Christmas was gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yep.
Japan.
Looking to go.
Australia.
Oh, Lori wants to go back to upstate New York or Florida. Florida, not upstate. I'm from the Hudson Valley. Come here. American Samoa. That would be a good one for us. That's somewhere in the South Pacific.
Well, and that's the thing, though. Once you go towards that side, you can do a stop on your way to.
Mm-hmm. That's like we stopped over in Hawaii for a wedding on the way to Japan.
Days, it sort of does at least break up that chunk.
Oh, Lori says you can fly to New York, then get a cheap flight to Australia.
To where?
Australia.
From
like go up to New York and then fly out.
Oh, as like a cut off to go here.
Well, it is true. Like the flights between here and the Northeast at the right times of year can be less expensive because they're basically like bus lines for people visiting the family on the snowbird route. The spiders in Tonga could carry away a small infant. Knock Tonga off the list, please. Costa Rica.
A small child. We're not that big.
Infants. I guess, infants smaller.
We're fine.
Okay. The giant huntsman spider. Yeah, I've seen that. Craig and Lorna. Mm-hmm. We'll still go. Because then they're just like, when they're that big, they all of a sudden become like family pets, not pests anymore.
What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, your aunt liked whales, so we should go there.
Yep. That would be great.
Yep. Hawaii. Everyone I know is going to Hawaii lately. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Go visit our Hawaii playlist. We love it. That's why we got married there.
Right. It's why we chose and have gone back to Hawaii a few times because it is our most special place.
And now it's technically our home too because we own it at wedding.
Technically.
So we're already booked for April. I just picked dates around our anniversary again. So maybe. Yeah. But we might scratch that for one of these other trips. You never know.
Yeah.
Lori was saying she did that for Japan, flew up to New York.
Yeah, sometimes it is worth the extra little flight. You don't think about that. Mm-hmm. That adding that one connected flight up there and then out.
So that was kind of, she flew to Los Angeles and then got a separate flight. Yeah, when we were planning our Hawaii and Japan trip for the wedding and the honeymoon, we found that sometimes separating the things out was less expensive, or trying to do like open jaw flights where you specify the cities you want to stop through. We were able to make it less expensive, and then someone decided, this is our wedding trip. Let's bump to first class.
It was our wedding.
It was.
We canceled the wedding.
Yep.
So we didn't have to spend absurd amounts of money on a 2-hour event.
Yep.
Which is pretty much what.
And everyone would have flown out to Arizona to see us for like a 3-day weekend, and we wouldn't have seen any of them.
At the end of the day, the wedding for us was perfect for us because we got to take, like I said, obscene amounts of money for basically a few hours where you don't even hardly get to see the people at your own wedding. You don't get to eat your meal half the time. And we took all that money and we said, let's just go really travel because that's important to us. We talked to all the people that were.
That's why our wedding party was who they were. They were the ones that kind of told us to do that.
Friends, family, everybody sort of said, we want to go places, we want to do things, and you can do a lot of money that you're not spending on a short little wedding.
You basically spend that. I think when we figured out what our wedding would have been versus what our trip to Japan would have been, they were equal, or our trip was even a little bit less. For our full wedding in Hawaii and our Japan trip was a little bit less. We did for almost 4 weeks what we were going to pay for a 4-hour event.
Yeah, it's. I don't think enough people think of that, and you can still see all your friends and family and have a little party when you get home, and see the other parts out of the world.
Yep.
And stay in good hotels and stay good, all that, and it still saves money from,
I mean, we definitely went a little over the top in certain ways that we didn't have to, and we could have been less, but we wanted that.
We didn't have to select the chicken or fish option and sit there and say, it's all right. That wasn't something we had to do at all.
Yep.
So that was nice.
Oh, thank you, Extra Magic. I just saw that now. Congrats on the 1,000.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I feel like we missed.
You want me to scroll back a little bit?
No, this way? Is there more this way?
There's no more.
Okay,
no.
I just want to make sure.
Lori was just saying she saved about $1,000 by doing her flight separate, getting to LA and
Absolutely.
get out.
Yeah. And people don't
The
think of
only
that.
the only difficult thing with that, which we learned when thinking about doing that, is if you don't book them together, you don't want to have them close to each other, where if the first flight gets delayed, you have a problem. Again, if you have travel insurance and things like that, we won't get into all that. But if they're separate tickets, the second part of your flight, which might be from LA to Japan, if you miss it, they're not liable for your first flight having been delayed. So you just have to be careful in how you do that. Oh, here we go with some more questions. Hey, Lynn, how are you?
Hello.
And Jennifer wants to know, Lori, stay overnight in Los Angeles. That's what we were talking about too, but it takes a travel day, and then you don't get to visit LA for
Which
us.
is okay. Also, I forget what it is, but there are actually a chunk of international airports where you can, they're, what are they called? The connector something flights. Basically, you can go off plane. You still go through check-in and stuff, but basically you can go off and see other areas, and like they'll do like,
Oh yeah,
I forget what they're called.
I don't know the name of it, but basically when you have like, an 18-hour layover, you arrive, in the evening one day and your connecting flight is until the next morning, they have tours that'll come pick you up at the airport and take you around that city. My father was going to do that when they had their layover in London coming home.
Yeah.
But they're actually going to sleep instead.
And basically, you just essentially, you don't stay at the hotel or at the airport. You go adventure that city, and then it takes you back to the hotel, or back to the airport rather, and you're good for your flight. So you kind of get to see a little extra leg just doing that. And we looked that up again.
We had actually looked at, because Singapore has Changi Airport, which has some great architecture and stuff. We were just going to fly to go visit Changi Airport. I'm like, but we have to go see Singapore. Jennifer had a question. When is your anniversary and how long have you been married?
We are.
So I actually think there's a funny story behind our anniversary, because our honeymoon for the wedding was Japan. Our anniversary is April 4th.
Which is double bad luck. In Japan,
the number 4 is equivalent to 13 in the US.
Right. So as we are superstitious for some reason about the number 13 being bad luck, for them it is the number 4. We are 4-4, and we even had a shirt that said 4-4 on it.
And it had Mickey, Mr. and Mr. on the front.
People were not comfortable with us walking around.
No, we actually had to stop. Out of respect, we didn't know that. And we learned the reason was that the number 4, when you say the Japanese word for it, if you mispronounce it with a different inflection, it actually is a word that has something to do with death. No, it was something, we looked it up because we wanted to learn why it was. But it was interesting. So yeah, hotels, train stations, they don't have a 4th floor.
Yeah, they just,
Same way we don't have a 13th floor.
So yeah, it was very...
Sandy, September 13th. So you guys go and celebrate on Friday the 13th for a really big, when that rolls around. So yeah, and what was it? How long have we been married? So our wedding was 2017, so we're going on 3 years now.
Yeah.
Yep. And Ed conveniently goes back to Hawaii for his anniversary every year, coincidentally.
Which, by the way, had I thought about it, I probably would have picked dates without any...
Oh, yeah, because Easter and Passover can float in such a way around our anniversary that if we end up between Easter and Passover, many schools are on their spring breaks at that point, which jacks up the rate.
Which you don't have to recognize the date on the date. But
excuse me, who taught you that?
Well, initially, for your honeymoon,
or for your first
anniversary, you want to be there. But after now, I'd say, well,
I'll go when it's cheaper.
A week later and save money. But
also, we go to Honolulu touristy. But when we go to like the Big Island, we have our local little places that we like to go to visit. Our places in Kona and up on the mountain, like that Chinese Hawaiian place that we go to. We have our favorite. So we'd rather go when it's not tourist season because we escape into the local areas anyway. It's what we like.
We have enough tourists in Orlando. There are lots here. So.
I'm going to go encounter those later.
Yeah.
Some of my friends are tourists arriving right now. Let's see what we got. State of Mind.
My eyes are getting tired. Just
okay,
FYI.
I'll read. Oh, Lori says no, because our anniversary is a double negative, that makes it a positive.
Oh, okay.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, that works for me.
Jennifer says, add it all up, you'll leave 4 behind. Because if you add it all up, it's not 4 anymore. That works.
Yep, there you go.
Rachel's an October anniversary. Do you guys have a Halloween-themed wedding? October 3rd, 10 years. Jennifer, when are you're coming to Disney soon? I feel like I know that, like within the week. So
That's exciting.
yeah, are you going to be here for your anniversary? What are you guys doing? Oh, tomorrow.
Oh,
wow.
You're not packing? I go.
I feel like Jennifer is enough of a pro that she knows she buys everything here and brings it in a suitcase.
I don't pack. I mean, when I did an entire month in Paris, I didn't start until the night before. Literally,
one of the things that
9 o'clock the night before I flew.
Well, actually, this is one of my favorite little stories. When we went to Hawaii, we bought a special set of luggage that was like an indestructible luggage that was super light. Out of the UK was where they made it. But the reason we actually bought it is it's 3 suitcases, a large, a medium, and a carry-on size that nest in each other.
Yeah.
So we went out to Hawaii with 2 suitcases, with 1 suitcase nested inside the other for each of us and a carry-on. We shipped home everything that was related specifically to the wedding, and then we took our nested suitcases to Japan, filled them up with souvenirs, and came home. So we were able to travel out with 1 each and come back with 2 each. Yeah, which was cool. Yeah. I wish we had twice that because I would have brought back way more.
Which, by the way, is a lot of things. Something that I don't think a lot of people do is they don't think to ship it out. A lot of times, it still ships easier than taking something in luggage if you can.
Yeah, it was expensive. The mistake I made is I did UPS estimates to ship things home. Hawaii does not follow those UPS estimates because Hawaii is not the contiguous 48.
Right.
So that was expensive to ship some things home, but still worth it. Jennifer says if we're going to be in the parks this week, let her know.
Mm-hmm.
We're waiting to hear your radiation schedule.
Yeah,
still.
that'd be nice. Soon.
Oh, their anniversary is Valentine's Day. Okay, Lori wants to know, can we give a positive and a negative of living in Florida? She's looking for relocation. The positives are kind of the easy, obvious ones. Weather's nice a lot of the year. A negative of that is it's humid. Had I not known about Phoenix, I wouldn't have minded the humidity as much coming from the Northeast. But like this morning, I took the dogs for a walk to tire them out, which is why they're not running behind us. They're over here. And it was humid this morning. So it wasn't hot. It was a nice walk. But like I came back and I wasn't sweaty, but I was wet because it was humid out. In the morning, it's like 150% humidity. It's gross.
That's what it feels like.
So that's a negative.
Well, I think that depends on where you are, too.
Well, Tampa was more manageable because it was blowing in off the coast every day.
But I mean, if you're in the Northeast, the humidity is essentially the same thing. You just don't have to do.
So that's what I was going to go with because I know Lori said I think she's from the Northeast. The biggest negative for me, she's looking at Orlando. Okay, the biggest negative in Orlando, and I'll give you an example. We live probably 3 miles from downtown Celebration, from like the pond and everything in Celebration. But the way Florida was designed and subdivided as like farms and ranches, the roads don't connect well. So it takes me sometimes a half hour to get to Celebration because I have to go all the way around. There's no road that connects from where we are to Celebration. And also because we're at the junction of 3 of the counties in Florida, they fight over who should manage the roads because they don't want to benefit each other. So road systems in Florida are not good. We have 2 ways to get to Disney, for example. I-4 or a major back road, if you will, that goes up to 192. I-4, if there's an accident, Disney's the next exit. We get stuck in the traffic. Coming home after like fireworks, I-4 can be terrible.
I mean,
but that back road also, which is our second option, is only 2 lanes, 1 going, 1 coming through parts of it. Same problem. If it's jammed with traffic, it's jammed with traffic. So if you're familiar with the Northeast, we have less options for driving around here. And those are really the big negatives for me.
The Northeast, well, traffic is always kind of a mess anyway. It's older roads laid out weird. Phoenix it was so beautiful. Mm-hmm. Phoenix was so great because it was just this nice grid. If you couldn't get in
if this road was blocked, you move a half mile over to the next road.
Yeah, you literally could move over, and up.
And if the highway was busy, you get off and take back road, the streets. So there's something to be said. Also, the hardest thing about changing the road system here in Florida, which is why we moved up from Tampa. So we were living south of Tampa when I first moved because my office is in downtown Tampa. It took me longer to drive there from the Tampa area than it does from here because I zip down I-4. And one of the reasons it gets overcrowded is a lot of the roads in Florida go over marshes and creeks and streams. It's harder to widen bridges than it is to just widen roads like many of us are familiar with. So Florida is someone said here it's getting overcrowded in the Orlando area. That's the reason. Orlando is spreading with suburban sprawl, but they don't have the road system to connect it. So right now, I-4 past Disney, up past Universal, towards like the mall is getting widened and it's getting an express lane in the center. I would pay, also Florida has toll roads, I would pay for a lane that bypassed all the resort exits for the days that I just want to go to Costco or the mall. You start to feel that way here.
Yeah, I don't know if we fully addressed the question, but
so traffic is the biggest thing here in getting around. Things that feel like they should be close can end up being an hour away. Costco is an hour away from us.
Pros?
I have Disney at my doorstep. We have the beach 90 or less miles in either direction. Cost of living is lesser.
Yes, cost of living is certainly better.
You do deal with hurricanes, but you deal with health. You deal with weather anywhere you live, blizzard, hurricane, earthquake.
I know living in Connecticut, we had hurricanes, we had blizzards, there were tornadoes last year, like small tornadoes. Like they have everything there. Everything you could ever dream of, the Northeast has. So not interested.
I'm reading ahead. Haunted Mansion dolls. I think they're selling this year the Constance the Bride and one of her husbands.
Okay.
That was the best gift Ed ever found for me because I was looking at them every time we went into Magic Kingdom and World of Disney. Character Warehouse. There's a reason you keep seeing photos of these ridiculous lines at Character Warehouse. Sometimes they just have great finds.
Waited in a long line.
No, it's more recent now. And actually, I don't know if Lynn's still on. Lynn is more south in Florida. She visits an entirely different Character Warehouse and videos it. So if those of you who are not watching the Lynn Project, be sure to subscribe to her channel because she goes to the Character Warehouse down there. There's plenty you can find up here that go, but finds like that, it was what, $50 or $60 in the park? You got it for me for like 10.
No.
20?
Maybe 20.
But either which way, great deal. And I like those better than the ones they're selling this year.
Traffic is definitely negative, but
yeah.
Traffic is also relative. There are places where people will say, oh my God, I wouldn't go, a 10-minute drive. And then some people would say, oh, it's only an hour and a half to get to the grocery store. So
Ed and I don't have the same level of perspective. Like when he was looking for radiation centers around him, I was like, I would just keep going to Tampa for the hour and a half or an hour and 10 minutes. I drive it for work when I go down there, which is a lot when you're going to radiation. But for me, like a drive isn't a problem. Even living in Phoenix, we picked a house. I was, 35 minutes away from work and things like that. I don't mind driving. Ed's a little bit different, but I'm from the Hudson Valley area of New York where my Chinese restaurant was a back road drive to get over, to get it. You had one at the corner basically because you were more urban style. So we're a little bit different in that. I think it is a lot of perspective.
Sure.
So Lori, you're saying you're from New York, you're in North Carolina now, either Orlando or upstate New York. I still feel like dealing with the hurricanes, as scary as they are, and the things like that, the weather here is more manageable than winter for us, and that will always sell me. I'll deal with the traffic. It sounds bad when we say it because we're isolating it. We sit in the traffic, we chat, we put satellite radio on. You're still driving through Florida, and you know that.
I don't know. I mean, I can't slip, fall, break my leg, and freeze to death in 60-degree weather.
That's true. Yep.
So, I mean, there's plenty of flooding.
Mm-hmm.
New York gets it. There's terrible flooding. People lose their homes, and then it freezes on them.
Yep.
So,
pipes freeze.
Oh,
Rachel says, yeah, that back road that goes by Animal Kingdom Lodge is the worst now. Yeah, because everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
But that's just the road into the park. There's almost the other side of that is the road that we use to come home. Those of you that know Walmart, that road, that goes down to 2 lanes after a little while. That's crazy, crazy busy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that live where we live work in the resort areas. We're all using those 2 main thoroughfares to get out. Fortunately for me, I take a back road to get to I-4 a little further over and zip down to Tampa. I don't hit that traffic most days if I go down. Lori, you'll be semi-retired. Don't worry about it then. You'll learn what times to avoid, and you'll be fine.
Oh, wait.
She's semi-retired.
I love Phoenix, 100 degrees. No, oh, no. 100 degrees is the best. And this is not just because I like warmth. This is like your mother used to say this too. 100 degrees becomes the dream because it's especially in the wet in the humid season, which is basically 20% humidity. Mm-hmm. Other than that, you can walk outside. The air is blowing on you and it's breezy. It's nice.
Yeah. 100 degrees with no humidity is beautiful.
It's basically like
a spring day.
Yeah, it is a nonstop spring day.
Yep.
Also,
the 100, even 120 is. Don't get me wrong; it's hot as long as you're not in the sun. So a lot of people have covered patios with fans. you can sit outside in 120. You put your misters on because the mist actually drops the temperature. You don't get wet from it.
I mean,
it's so much more manageable.
I can tell you, living there for 4 years, that the fact that you're not sweating, and then when you are, and you check the humidity and say, oh, it's 20% humidity, get over yourself and realize it's beautiful. 300 plus days of sun. There's no hurricanes. There's no snow.
There's
in Phoenix.
Haboobs, monsoons, and fires.
Yeah, but that's just dust.
Fires?
Monsoons
aren't fire, or monsoons aren't dust. They're microburst thunderstorms with tornadoes. Ed is very selective in his weather memories of Phoenix.
I love Phoenix. If you have not been to Phoenix, you are missing out. This I promise.
No, definitely visit.
It is.
Again, you want to go to Phoenix, reach out. We'll do travel planning for you.
Beautiful. I think the biggest regret I have for anybody who did not get to visit me when I lived for 4 years is that you missed out on one of the most beautiful cities I've ever visited, let alone obviously lived in. It's beautiful. The cost of living is fantastic. You don't sweat. I love it. And it really, really, really should be on your list. And a lot of times you can find dirt cheap trips there too. So it's just great.
Yeah. Oh, so You Traveled Vlogs lives locally, which is why they were saying, definitely agree with that. That Disney's roads have been getting fantastic, and the roads that deliver everyone to Disney are not. So that's one of the biggest problems is the economy around the municipalities around Disney don't realize what Disney brings them is the feeling I get, but we won't get into that. Sawgrass Mills. Yep. Oh, Jennifer says she drove from Miami to the Keys. It was interesting until you get to Key. Wait, Jennifer, did you not like the drive from Key Largo down to Key West? Because I feel the opposite of what you typed there is the drive from like Homestead to Key Largo to me is boring.
I've never been to either one.
We need to get you down to Key West because driving over the water and island hopping is actually really kind of cool on those bridges. Yep, don't miss the snow and cold.
No.
Lori,
shoveling.
When she was in Death Valley and it was 118 with no humidity, she felt like she was on the sun, but her hair looked great.
Who's this?
Yep, Lori again.
Well, 118 is so the break. I would say the break point is 110. You start to get uncomfortable. 115, you're hot.
Yeah, you avoid it. It's like avoiding winter in the Northeast. But
that's it.
The humidity is.
You go inside.
My stepmother's pictures from Florida. My stepmother has very long, straight, black hair. She looked like a poodle. She got like just.
That's not very nice.
No, but the humidity affects you.
The humidity, you're not preparing for that. Yeah.
But my skin never felt better.
That she did say. She said, "Oh, my skin feels so great because she lived there, and you don't know what it's like to be dry."
Yeah, Aileen was saying when they were in California, she was happy with her hair. Yep.
What is?
Lori wants to be near Disney. Lori, I can't. I actually will say it is one of the best things for me. I grew up a Disney kid. When my mother passed away, that's one of the reasons we moved here is it was significant to her. One of the hardest things, though, for me right now is with everything Ed and I are going through, it's at my back door and I want to run away to it. And it's a boundary of real life versus fake life for me right now. Today I'm going, I have friends, but it's good and bad when it is so available. It's hard. What? It can take 2 hours to...
What?
That's Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
You're not saying you need 2 hours or more to go 30 miles driving. That's true here, too. If we get on I-4 and there's 2 accidents, you can be stuck.
The East Coast has a weird thing with... I mean, I guess so does West Coast because LA is...
Well, because they're the older cities in the U.S. that were not master planned to some extent for cars like that.
That was one of the major things. Like, first got to Phoenix, I was very confused by, like we said, you can actually just say, oh, I'll drive down 2 blocks and then go that direction because now it was a perfect grid. So you just move over away from the traffic and not have to be sitting in traffic.
Oh, the Mickey Bunch just joined. Hey, guys.
So, yeah, definitely the Northeast. And then, like you said, at the end of the day, you go all that. And I remember when I was working in the schools and they'd shut it. They wouldn't shut it down until the last second. And then I would be stuck driving in ice. For what should be a 20-minute drive, and it might be over an hour because now there's ice. Because it wasn't supposed to snow. Yeah, well then it froze, and now we have ice, and now you're stuck. So yeah, anything about snow, I would never live back again.
Lori's going to shave her head if she moves here. You can get a haircut like Ed. We have a place to recommend that did that nice haircut for you.
Right.
It's a men's barber shop, but if you're shaving, they'll take good care of you, I guess. So there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons to moving here. I think that's true of anywhere, and it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, we've been here a year now. We picked this part of the Orlando metro area for a reason, for me to get to Tampa. Being here a year, if it still weren't for my job in Tampa, we'd probably be in a different part of Orlando. We found things that we like that are more us in other areas. I love where we live. We have great neighbors. We have a great community.
Very
but
good,
vicinity to other things that we enjoy, that's in a different part of Orlando for us.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of the times. Or, you know.
But again, for me, it's an hour drive. It's no big deal. To you, an hour is a nightmare. That's where we have that differing. Yeah. And it shouldn't, mind you, it shouldn't be an hour. It's like 25 miles away. But anyway, everything goes around. What else we got? Oh, the Mickey Bunch. I didn't know that they moved to Daytona from Phoenix. That's where we were before this, too.
Oh, love Phoenix. We were just talking about that for the last hour.
I think that was our whole chat today.
Because it's my favorite. I miss it all of the time.
Yep.
All the time. Okay.
Cal says him, too. Cal's a desert dog.
Yes. When we moved the dogs here and they realized it was really raining all the time.
Splinter doesn't care so much because we think he's from North Carolina originally.
Yeah.
Cal was found. Come here. You want to come here and say hi?
No.
He's like, no. He was a misfit running through the desert down by Yuma was where they got him with that. So he's a desert dog.
Oh, right there, Tempe.
Oh, yeah. We were up by ASU.
We met basically right over there.
We did meet in Tempe.
Yeah.
Our first. This is actually funny. Now I'll share this one. So our first date, Ed and I met online. Well, not much to that, but when we first got together, we went to actually Tempe. We went to Four Peaks to meet each other, which is, I miss it. And I said to Ed, because I happened to have, it was Veterans Day coming up, and I had the full day off, and I said to you, all right, we'll spend the day together. You're new to the area. You'd been there, I think, like a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you want to do for fun? And Ed looks at me and says, do you want the nerdy answer? And I'm like, well, I want the true answer. He goes, all right, the nerdy answer. I want to see cacti. So our first day-long date was at Desert Botanical Gardens in November, which was amazing. We almost had our wedding there, too. The whole canceling and all that. But, yeah, she says, small world. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Desert Botanical Garden.
Yep. Again, if anyone wants to go to Phoenix, we have places lined up for you.
So beautiful.
Yep. Shoot us an email.
Especially when it's not 110 degrees, but it's, beautiful. Just really beautiful. My sister loved it when she visited us.
One thing we never did until your sister came to visit was there's a park in the middle of Phoenix called Papago Park. It looks like the rocks there arrived from the moon. It's a geological anomaly in the middle of Phoenix.
Correct.
But the rocks are so weathered that they have holes in them. So you're actually able to hike up and watch the sunset over downtown Phoenix from what they call a hole in the rock. We have some great, I think we've posted pictures from there on Instagram.
We really do have to do a vlog there at some point. I mean, we still have family out there, so we should. It's so great. Sedona is another place that everybody we brought up there absolutely was obsessed with Sedona.
It's hard to explain. Like, even your sister, I feel like, was like, oh, okay, I'll get in the car with you guys and go.
For 2 hours.
But she was blown away.
And we were there, it was cold, so I think there was snow.
When your sister was there was snow up on the higher cliffs and things.
I think she just wasn't prepared for it to be as beautiful as it was, and she just loved it. Loved it. Oh, they're practically perfect saying hello.
Is that Josh or Britt? I know Britt's singing today, so that must be Josh. One of them is popping in to say hi. Hey, guys.
Sedona is great.
For those of you that joined in the second half here, one of the things we said earlier on is August 20th, which was the date of Ed's surgery, was also the date we were scheduled to fly out to Phoenix to go do some vlogging and do a trip. And it obviously fell through, but that was going to be travel we were about to announce when you got your diagnosis.
We will go again, and if we can't ever go again, at least we spent 4 years living there.
I have to go again. I thought my father and stepmother are there.
Right. I would like to go back. Just at this point, I have a shift in perspective where I look at all the places I still have not yet been, and that's sort of what we said in the beginning of this was I want to just reflect at the places I have not been. And
go there.
Your bucket list shifted a little bit. So, yeah.
Yes, we also hope Josh is feeling better.
Hello. I'm also feeling better.
Way to steal the spotlight. So it is about you. You're on camera.
I have a scar.
Jennifer, stop talking about Josh. He's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anything else you guys want to know? We just hit the hour mark too.
That was a long.
That was a lot of chatting for
yeah.
us.
And I am getting tired.
Mhm.
But
We need to eat our food. The dogs need their food soon.
does anybody have any like questions or anything that we?
Another topic you want us to hit before we head out? Again, keep an eye on our channel. I'm going to go ride the Skyliner tonight with some friends. Are you going to go with me? On the Skyliner,
we'll
probably
see.
not. All right. Maybe you'll go see them though. Sedona, Jerome. We never made it to Jerome. Oak Creek Canyon is beautiful. Remember the time we drove down through Oak Creek? We went to Meteor Crater that day.
Oh yeah.
We drove 3 hours to. It's literally a meteor crater,
cool,
but it was like a roadside. Yeah.
And my friend who was in town wanted to go, so we went. I mean.
Also, did you acknowledge Jennifer? She's saying it again. Apparently, that your scar is rocking also.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you can really tell.
I can try to. Here, I'll pick this up for a minute.
No, hang on.
There you go. I'll put it like over. Whoops. So you got a nice big horseshoe scar there. Splinter's hiding behind you now.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Lori wants to see the dogs. They are very independent. Come here, bub. Here's Cal. This is the desert dweller. He was sleeping.
He's like, shut up. Let me go back to sleep.
Oh, here, but now that we have Cal, Splinter's jealous. So here's Splinter. You want to say hi? He's like, no, I want to lay on you. Oh, no. Now Cal's jealous. There we go.
Now they're all worked up. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Now we're going to have to wind them back down. See from here.
Oh yeah.
Josh wants to know if you miss him.
Yeah, you should move here then. Come on. That's it. If you go back an hour, you can listen to a lot of questions or
about how to move to Florida.
About how to move to Florida. Yeah.
Jennifer's excited to ride the Skyliner. Me too. The
Not
live
me.
streams that everyone's been doing look great.
I will never ride it. Don't care. Don't want to know about it.
Today is the grand opening, so there's probably bound to be a lot of live streams. I don't think I'm going to live stream. I might Instagram some of it, and then I'll do a vlog because we both love editing. The vlogs are fun to edit, so one of us will edit a fun vlog of that.
And I will have no part of it.
Have a good day at work, Lynn.
Thank you for coming on in.
Jennifer says the horseshoe on the head cancels out the number 4. Yep.
What?
Josh has a good idea. You got bitten by a shark.
No, just cancer.
Also, Cal's staring at me like he knows. Josh says hi, Cal. Yeah. No, they just want. They know what they want. It's time for their middle meal of the day.
Right. That's all I care about now. They figured out it's about 11:30, which is about when they usually eat, and they're waiting for it.
Oh, Josh said hi to you too, Splinter.
He's like, are they feeding me?
Oh, Jennifer wants to know why you don't want to ride it.
I don't like anything about heights. I mostly don't like any rides, particularly anything with heights. When we were in Japan, I wouldn't do it.
I rolled the cable car up to the top of a mountain that overlooked Fuji by myself.
I've been through other countries. I've been through other states, and no part of it ever will I go on a gondola. No, thank you. No.
Also, right now you were saying like even the monorail would be hard for you because when it's not driving, the speed at which things are going is a visual.
That's part of it. Also, just no. I will just have no interest in falling out of a gondola and falling. No.
That's the equivalent to falling out of a car. You need to like open the door, take your seatbelt. It doesn't happen by accident.
No.
You don't fall out.
My skull was just open. That was enough for now. I'm good. Maybe next life.
Okay. See, Lori agrees, but she's going to do it.
No.
Jennifer, don't encourage him.
Not doing it. No.
So is that where we close for today? Like that crazy Ferris wheel at Disneyland? Oh,
somebody here won't do that. The regular Disneyland Ferris wheel.
So, okay, here's my fear. So I won't ride the whatever it is, Pixar Pal around now. I will not ride the moving cars because I've been on the original with my grandmother in Coney Island, the Wonder Wheel. And I don't like Ferris wheels in general for a reason that makes no sense to me riding Skyliner. I don't like that if something happens, I can't get off easily.
Truth.
Like, I don't mind Splash Mountain with the drops, things like that, where they can walk me off. For whatever reason, Ferris wheels are something where even when we did the Orlando Eye or the Icon, I'm looking at like all the ladders that they need to set up to get you down. And I'm like, no, why would I want to be 300 feet up to climb back down? I'm not afraid of heights, but I don't like not being able to come back down on my own accord.
It just happened on the monorail last week or 2 weeks ago, where
that doesn't bother me.
They had to walk them off of it, and I would just sit there. I'd still be there.
Yeah, the Skyliner does have a call button.
Yeah,
but no, I think all of our fears are for whatever weird reasons, and we leave them for one another. Because I'll ride the gondola. I used to be a skier. It's harder to get off of a cable at a ski resort. I mean, the gondola, they're all set with the equipment. We've seen it around there for the lakes, for the roadways, everything. Disney will get you off the gondola quickly if they need to, which it's not designed that way. But a ski lift,
sure.
You got to come with the ladder.
Oh,
I'm still skiing.
I wouldn't go on a gondola at a ski lodge if it included free flights and trip and hotel to the Swiss Alps. It wouldn't matter because I would not be able to go to the gondola to get up and claim my prize. Wouldn't do it. No.
Hey, no. James, good morning. Yeah, we knew we did it early for the West Coast crew. But like I said, I have some friends coming in, so we're going to go over to meet them and do the Skyliner later. That's how we're chatting about it.
Which it's already...
Britt sends a virtual hug. Britt needs to bring a physical hug.
Yep, we're here.
We miss her, too.
Yeah.
Jennifer, Britt misses you. Josh misses the dogs. That's maybe because Josh has been here enough to see us where Britt hasn't, because someone always leaves her in the dust.
Oh, sorry.
So, she's so far behind you in the vlogs right now, Josh, you can't even see her. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to wrap up there.
Yeah.
I have 2 dogs staring at me for lunch. It'll get them super excited now that I said that.
Careful.
Wow, who is Britt? You know the chat stays.
Do not get in that drama. We will start to close everybody out now.
Thanks, Practically Perfect Park Hopping. Thanks, Lori. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for those of you that were with us for that full hour and 11 minutes. And those of you who joined late, thank you for jumping in. As soon as this is ready, we'll put it up so you can go back to the beginning to where we were talking about Ed's health and everything and see how we got to all these interesting discussions.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, thank you. I'll enjoy the Skyliner later.
And I will enjoy not watching and being at home on the couch.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll be back sometime soon.
Yeah.
Yep. We're here. Send us messages, whatever. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a good one.